Everyone, and thank you for coming out to listen to us all tonight. So I am Graeme. I was born and grew up in Tauranga. My husband and I raised our family here. We've got two daughters who are now in their 20s, and we've lived in Papamoa among the different places that we've lived within Tauranga. So I went away to study down in Dunedin, where I did law and also a history degree, but we came back to Tauranga and the Bay of Plenty, and that's because I really love the Bay of Plenty. I feel incredibly lucky to live in this beautifully endowed, natural and fabulous place where we live a very wonderful lifestyle. I have got practical work experience in local government, starting with my first job at the Western Bay of Plenty District Council, and I've also worked within central government, so I have some knowledge of how those bodies work. It's given me an insight into what those organisations do serving our communities. I've got governance experience with local and national conservation organisations, and I'm currently the National Chair of Forest and Bird. I volunteer on local restoration trusts, and I manage a pest control project at Lake Waitangi, which is trying to stop the loss of typical old putapauas around the lake there. So the reason why I'm standing is I really do love the Bay of Plenty. I feel very lucky to live here, and I would like to take a part in the important role that the Regional Council plays in maintaining, fostering our environment and our community here. So I think our economic and our community prosperity really relies on our natural environment. It's why we choose to live here, it's why we work here, and it underpins our economic activities like our very important agricultural community, our horticultural community, and the tourism industry too that we have here. So we need to protect and enhance those things that we value. My priorities are making sure we improve water quality in our lakes, our rivers, our harbours and our estuaries, and enhancing our biodiversity. I want to see supported, connected communities with that multimodal approach. We can't just build our way out of congestion with roads. We need to look at all the different options that we have. I want to ensure we've got resilience and prepared communities. We do face some challenges with climate change, with that flooding issues that I know you've all talked about tonight, and we need to be prepared for those. And it was good to hear Stuart talk about not just thinking about the hard structures that we need to have to manage those issues, but we also need to think about the catchment. And that's not just the farmland and land from Papamoa, that's also the forested headwaters where the rain first falls. And so a healthy catchment right from the top manages the impacts down the bottom. So what we do in our natural infrastructure also helps protect us downstream. I thought one of the questions I would answer was the third question, which was around the most important activities that are coming up for the Regional Council. And there's sort of two aspects I think I wanted to comment on. The first was the uncertainty facing the local government sector. I think that's one of the biggest challenges and also one of the biggest opportunities for the Regional Council. So it's an opportunity to make things work better. And I hope that I would bring a collaborative voice to be part of those really important conversations about how we do that if I do get elected. So the local government review will bring changes that will affect our community and our region. I'm not fixed on what the solution is. I think that there is definitely opportunities to do things better, but we absolutely need to make sure that we are identifying the problems and the efficiencies that can be made. So there are areas of fragmentation, for example, in decision making and transparency Council and the District Council all having different roles within public transport and transport provision, it would make much more sense to have better collaboration and cohesion in that area. But we also do need to make sure that we have that local input. And I think we, along with that too, we want to make sure that the changes that are made are going to make changes for the better. And when it comes to the environmental protection side of things, we do need, I think, an independent body, which is what the Regional Council currently is. I'm not fixed on it being a Regional Council going forward, but I do think we need to have an independent body that is responsible for our environmental protection. The other thing I wanted to comment on was protecting our assets. So we need to protect our assets for our region going forward within this reform structure and generally. And one of the things that the current council, which Ash has commented on, has opened the door to is a conversation around the sale of port shares. I'm absolutely open to being part of that conversation. The framework has been that only a portion of the shares would be sold. So I think it's important to understand that we're not talking about the sale of all the port shares, only a portion of the shares. And it also does not mean that actually, if the shares are sold, that the money would be spent. My expectation would be that it would be reinvested in other investments. And I think that's actually a very sound financial approach. At the moment, we have a lot of eggs in our port basket, and a prudent investment approach is actually to have diversity of investments. So you both spread your risks and you maximise your potential gains. And those gains come back to the community, and we see those in the investments that are made in the activities the Regional Council does, and also the subsidisation of the rates too. And so I'm going to stop there, but thank you very much for coming and listening to us tonight.